The major influences on the shape of our clients' marketing strategies are consistent really with the major influences that have always been there. Our clients are looking for business growth to drive business growth, so they've been focused very much on the key markets where they can get that growth and reshaping their budgets, their investment allocations geographically where they can get the growth, and critically against the key consumers where they can get that. So the broad brushstrokes haven't changed. Geographies, consumer markets, obviously their own product portfolio and what they're trying to achieve, and slightly influenced of course by what competitive strategies there are. More specifically though, I suppose recently they are starting to get shaped much more by the rise of digital media and various strategies that can be deployed across digital media. There are a number of key technological developments that are impacting the business in a major way, and they're all associated with the rise of digital technologies. In the most basic form, I guess the advent of multi-channel television is a fairly significant game changer. I think the industry has got to grips with that thoroughly now and is moving on to the next items. Search is much more prevalent than it has been before, and I think we're starting to see many client companies now understand how to use search marketing in a much more consistent and positive way. And then I suppose the next big thing is the rise of social media, and clients are now starting to understand how to use that for their maximum benefit. But digital technologies are changing all aspects of our business. I think one of the interesting big new things coming up now is the rise of digital out-of-home. We're already seeing in China perhaps 30% of our out-of-home business now being digital out-of-home. So I think this is a big game changer as well. The markets that advertisers should be focusing on in 2011 probably come as no surprise. The big one, the big beast is China, and I don't think anybody can afford to ignore China, and nor are they. That's clearly the most important driver in this region and indeed globally. But I think we are seeing very strong performances in the rising importance of Southeast Asian markets. Thailand remains very important, but Indonesia and Philippines are getting critically important now in many marketers' plans. And of course you can't ignore India. So that's probably the broad sweep. I think the differences in media approach for emerging markets versus developed markets all comes down to the consumer. In developed markets, developed countries, consumers have much greater and much wider choice and have segmented themselves into a much greater array of market segments. They also have much greater choice not over brands to purchase but media to consume and how they access their information and entertainment. In emerging markets, consumers haven't yet fragmented into so many different segmentation groups, so I think mass communication channels still have a greater effect in emerging markets than perhaps they do in developed economies. So you can see free-to-air terrestrial television, for example, still remaining a highly influential communications medium in emerging markets, whereas in developed markets it is less influential. Now it still has a role to play, but is less influential, and online communications channels are much more important.